Greetings everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed here and welcome back to Fado 12. The treacherous yet cute looking Yu has finally been eliminated, and has Naomi's death been undone? Only one way to find out, but just in the slim glimmer of hope that this is a reality. Naomi?
僕より羊さんの方が良かったかな。今朝だからか。それとも。
Hoping to see Naomi, were you? Well, I'm not quite sure if that's only because it's this specific morning. What? Good morning, Rinka. Why are you here? The first I've seen upon waking up is Maharu. She's in a school uniform all ready to go.
僕がここにいるかだね。昨日リンカが電車の火事の中にいた時、
That's a simple question. I'm the one who carried you back from the train.
あんな場所にいれば病院に運ばれてもマスコミが押し寄せてくる。アメ茶の生徒だと知れれば余計にね。リンカにそんな負担はかけさせないさ。
The press would have swarmed you if I took you to the hospital, especially once they figured out that you were a student at Amateur. I couldn't let you go through that.
一日経てば世界の改変が起こると思っていたから、そこまで大変なことではなかったよ。
I figured the world would just do its thing after a day had passed, so it wasn't all that bad.
なんで私が山手線にいるって分かったの？
How'd you know I was on the Yamamoto line?
スケールたちと協力関係を結んでいたことが幸いしたよ。信用していいのかわからない人たちだけれど、彼の情報は正確だった。
My little alliance with Scale and them proved to be useful. I'm still not sure if they're trustworthy or not, but Scale's intel has been spot on at least. She slips in an extra comment about how she should never have made her way over and quicker.
もしかして一晩ずっと
Did you spend all night by my side?
一度僕の荷物を取りに家へ帰ったけれどね。
I did
あ
have
ん
to
な
go.
状態の君を一人にしてはおけないよ。
I did have to go home and fetch my things, but yes, I couldn't leave you alone in your state.
ありがとう。ほっとした。
That's a relief to hear. Thanks.
それは僕の言葉さ。運命の大広間で君の姿を見ることができたけれど、目覚めないのではないかと不安だったよ。
That's my line, you know. While I got to see you were okay in the court of fate, part of me was still worried that you wouldn't wake up again. I'm not sure what went on while I was unconscious, but it looks like she did what she could to keep me out of trouble. And here I was worrying about the possibility of my real body being taken to a hospital. Waking up in my room helps me to settle down a bit. I'm a bit sore all around, but other than that, I'm seemed to be fine. Thus, there's only one thing left for me to worry about.
世界がどうなったかだね。ユの件は世界への影響が大きかったから、僕の認識とも相違が大きい。僕もまだ調べきれてはいないけれど、話をさせてもらうよ。
One theory I have is that Naomi is still dead, but it could have been a freak accident that happened at the same time as you did their thing. So, possibility number one, Naomi's still dead, but number two, their actions could still lead that Naomi's still alive, but still. You must be wondering how things have changed. Yu's actions had a big influence on the world at large, but things right now are different from what took place. I haven't had the time to figure it all out, but I can tell you what I know so far.
その前に、まず学校へ行く準備を済ませてしまったらどうだい？まだ時間はあるけれど、長い話になるからね。
But you should get ready for school first. We've still got plenty of time, but the explanation will take a while. Following her advice, I get ready to make my way downstairs. It should be easier to talk things out down here. Quite. As always, I make some coffee for the both of us. There's still an hour left before we have to leave. Guess I woke up earlier thanks to all the rest I got.
思えば、君とこうするのはとても久しぶりだね。
It's been quite a while since we last got together like this.
私の心が完全に折れちゃってたからね。真央が来てくれて、美晴が頑張ってるって思って、ようやく立ち直れた。
ever since I lost the will to go on, and it was thanks to Mal coming over and the idea of you doing all you could that got me back on track.
無理もないさ。それに僕はいろいろ動いたけれど結果を出すことができたのはリンカ、君なんだ。
I could hardly blame you. Besides, I may have done all I could, but you were the one who accomplished what you set out to in the end. Naomi's death. That's gotta be what she's about to talk about. Mahalo takes a deep breath before she starts.
まず、昨日の爆破テロだ。あの事件は原因不明の出火による火事とされた。おそらく列車の経年劣化により配線の整備不良が出火の原因だろう。
First and foremost, yesterday's instance, it's become a case of sudden combustion due to unknown circumstances and lack of proper maintenance on the rail lines and their detonation over time, I guess.
おとといの東京タワーでの一件はどうやら事件そのものがなかったことになっているらしい。動画の生配信も行われていたが、それを見た人の記憶がどうなっているかわからない。
The case at Tokyo Tower has been completely undone, it seems. Who knows what happened to the memories of all those who watched you stream?
羊さんのように深層心理が覚えていて、夢という形でなかったことになった可能性を見る人はこれから現れるかもしれない。
It's entirely possible that there will be cases like Naomi who still dream about the events that were undone.
この点はマオにも聞いてみた方がいいだろう。マオなら生配信を見ていてもおかしくはないからね。
With Bossov asking Mal, she's more likely to have watched the stream than not.
以上から推測できるのは物質の移動や変化は残るけれど行動は残らないということだね。
Based on all of that, we can summarize that while Yu's actions themselves disappeared, the physical changes caused by them remain.
ケイコさんの時と同じだ。
Just like with Keika. The letter she gave me is a prime example of that. While she had written disappeared after elimination, the action of her writing a letter had been undone. I have a bad feeling about this. If that's the case, to Naomi's body are classified as physical change, then
まさか。
don't tell me.
落ち着いてくれ、リンカ。
Calm down.
順番に話をするからね。
Let me explain things in order.
さらに時系列を遡ろう。先月、渋谷で不審物が発見されたという事件をきっかけに、テロ組織ヌル日本支部の幹部が逮捕された。
Going back a bit further, it turns out the major players in Null's Japan branch were all arrested after reports of suspicious objects being found in Shibuya.
それは選定の参加者が命を落とした日、因果の時にユウが起こした山手線爆破テロがなかったことになったから起きた事件だ。
That occurred after Yu's initial attack on the Yamamoto line had been undone by divine selection. The organization itself has already reached a breaking point, and then one of their operations failed and resulted in the disappearance of a perpetrator. That led to the insider leaking information and caused them all to get arrested.
この事件もなかったことになっている。いや、時期が変わったと言うべきだろう。彼らはゴールデンウィーク直後、つまりまさに因果の時の直後に逮捕されている。
That's been undone too. Rather, the timing itself has been changed. They were arrested right after Golden Week, which just so happens to coincide with the causality junta.
幼い少年の起こした自爆テロに関わってしまったことに恐れをなしたヌール日本支部の内部リークにより、
All of this due to an insider leaking information out of fear of what a young member of theirs had done.
あの日自爆テロは起きていた。
So the attack itself actually happened. Yu's cause of death had become reality once more. That means he's already dead at this current point in time.
しかしその時の犠牲者は怪我人が数人、死者は実行犯の少年のみ。ユウという名前もあの時点での彼は
Yes,
持
that's
っていないのだったね。
His attack only resulted in a few injuries though. The only one to die during it was the boy himself, who I refer to as such because he hadn't been given the name of Yu at that point.
私も今は生きていることになってるからね。でもおかしい。私の奥底に眠る記憶だと他にも死者はいたと。
Makes sense considering I'm alive. If my memory of the incident is right though, other people died along with me, so something doesn't add up. The explosion took place in the middle of a packed train. The only way no casualties would emerge from that is through a miracle. Granted, you could probably call divine selection as alterations to fate a type of miracle.
おそらく君がトリガーだ、君が生きているから運命は君を生かすために強引な改変をされている。
That's likely due to you. Fate had to force its hand to keep you alive, I assume.
私が死ねば
So if I die, then the sea of flames pop into mind once more. Her theory makes sense. All the same, that's not what I'm interested in right now. I made it a point to settle things with fate. I want to know the results.
それでさ、アメ茶でのテロは
So what happened to the attack on Amecha? I hear myself gulp in anticipation. I have a bad feeling about it, but also don't doubt myself. If I do, then
文化祭の日に起きた私立アメ茶女子大学附属高校爆破テロは
the attack on Amecha on the day of the culture festival has been undone.
けれど文化祭の倉庫として使っていた空き教室から出火しその
However,
教室が焼け焦げたという事件は存在している。
however, the classroom being used as storage of the festival burst out into flames in exchange.
嘘、それってだって
Wait a minute, if something still happened, then my breathing grows rigid all of a sudden. It almost feels like my heart has completely stopped.
ただし死者はゼロだ。
Even though that happened, there were no casualties. Huh? Then my pulse returns to normal when I hear that. The sudden fluctuation leaves me a bit lightheaded. If there was no casualties, then Naomi didn't lose her life, which means she's alive. Naomi's alive. Mahalo seems less than enthused about it. It doesn't take long to figure out why.
ただしやけどをしている可能性も、後遺症が残っている可能性も捨てきれない。火事そのものは起こっているからね。ニュースだけではそこまでわからなかった。
The fire itself still happened, so it's entirely possible that she's been left badly burnt or suffering from other complications. The news didn't go into detail.
それに情けないことだけれど僕も少し怖い。もし生きてはいても羊さんの身に何かが。そう思うと真央や本人に連絡する勇気が湧かなかった。
And, well, it's a bit pathetic of me, but I'm a touch scared to learn the truth. I didn't have it in me to call either Mao or Naomi just in case something had happened.
君の掴んだ現実がどうなっているかわからないから、どう聞いていいかもわからないしね。
I wasn't even sure how to ask them because I still don't know the results of your efforts.
なんだ、そんなことか。心配する必要はないよ。だって生きていれば不幸になんてさせないから。
Is that it? You don't need to worry about that. So long as she's alive, I'll make sure she's happy.
やはり君は強いね。
You really are strong-willed, aren't you?
そんなことないよ。いろんな人の助けを借りなきゃ大切なものを守れないくらい。
Not at all. I never would have been able to do any of this without the help of others.
君がそう思うならそれでいいけれど、少なくとも君が生きるべきだと再確認できたのは事実だ。
I won't change that line of thinking, even if you've helped to confirm the fact that you're the one who deserves to live through all this.
ミハル、それはもう違うよ。
That's not quite the right way to put it. Mahalo reacts by giving me a puzzled look. I decide to explain myself.
生きるべきとかじゃない。生きたいかどうかが大事なんだ。
It's not about who deserves to live, it's about who has the will to do so.
リンカ、君は生きたいと願っているんだね。
So, I take it you're determined to live through this now.
私はもうブレないよ。生きることに悩まない。でもね、もう一つ決めたことがある。
Yep, I have no issue embracing that desire now. There's one more thing I've decided on besides that
そ
though.
れはソーニャも言っていたことなんだ。私たちは一度その可能性を考えた。でもナオミのことがあって忘れてた。
It's a possibility that Sonia told us about, the one I'd forgotten thanks to everything that happened to Naomi.
だから改めて言うよ。私たちは二人で。
Let me say this loud and clear, Mahalu. Both of us are going to... Aw.
いや、ってちょっと。
Oh, come on. Read the atmosphere. Just as I'm about to give Mahalo a big, determined speech, a listless voice interrupts. It's none other than Leaf, of course. Pretty unusual to see it walking around in the morning. It makes its way over to the table we're sitting at before planting once more.
いやあ、はじめましてだね。
Why, hello. I believe this is our first meeting.
あれ、そうだっけ？
Huh? Is it really?
話には聞いていたから、あまり初めてという気はしないけれどね。
I've heard you talk about your cat plenty, so it doesn't feel like it's the first time.
なんか気が抜けちゃっ
There goes all my energy.
それくらいがちょうどいいさ。昨日までの激動の日々がようやく終わったんだ。ずっと気を張っていたら、それこそ気が持たないだろう。
That's enough for now. You should take this chance to settle down after all you've gone through.
しかし、
But I must say,
た。レテがどうかした？
something up with Leaf?
レテ。そうか。この子の名前はレテだったね。
Oh, the cat's name is Livy, right? It sounds awfully familiar for some reason.
くせ。珍しい名前だから気になっただけかな。撫でてもいいかい？
Perhaps I'm just taken by how unusual a name that is. Do you mind if I pet it?
あれ、ミハルって動物苦手じゃなかったっけ？
I thought you weren't good with animals.
苦手じゃなくて嫌いだよ。けれどね、この子もきっとリンカを支えてくれていたのだろう。だったらお礼をしないといけないよ。
Well, we know one way to hate Mahalu. Oh dear, you don't like animals. They're like you know what, whatever. We all have our likes and dislikes. Well, I just don't like them, even though this cat's probably been supporting you along the way. In that case, it only makes sense that I show it some gratitude. Mahalo extends her hand towards Levi, nice and slow. You can tell she's not used to dealing with them.
大丈夫だよ。ほら。
Come on, no need to worry.
ああ。
Yeeks! It's not often that you get to hear Mahalo shout in surprise. It has me grinning at first, but I come to regret that pretty quickly.
ミハル。
Mahalo! She falls off her chair before she could pet Leaf and crashes onto the floor.
ミハル、大丈夫？ごめんね。無理させちゃって。
I'm sorry. I mean, are you okay? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have egged you on.
違う。君のせいではないよ。この猫に触れようとしたら急にふらついてしまってね。
Oh, it's not your fault.
僕が自分から倒れたんだ。
I got dizzy when I reached down and I ended up falling on my face. I helped her back up to her chair. Her body's far more slender than I'd imagined, but it's also so soft.
何だったんだ今のは。
What in the world happened?
もしかしてミハル、本能的に動物ダメなのかもね。ほら、レテ。あっちに餌とお水を置いておくよ。
What is going on? Maybe your body's just instinctively trying to avoid animals. Come here, Leaf. Let me get you some food and water. Meow. The smell of the food seems to do this trick. As Leaf meanders off to the backyard.
失礼した。大丈夫。落ち着いたよ。話を戻すけれど、つまり羊さんの状態は会ってみるまでわからない。
Sorry about that, I'm fine. Getting back on topic, but just the thing is that we won't know how Naomi is until we see her.
わかった。私よりもずっと早起きして調べててくれたんだよね。ありがとう。
Right.
ナオミが生きていると分かったから。
You got up way
私は何も心配してないよ。
You got up way earlier than me to check it all out, huh? I'm grateful. I'll be satisfied just knowing she's alive.
あ
Hmm.
あ、嬉しいな。リンカの笑顔を見ることができるのは。そ
Yeah.
ろそろいい時間だろう。学校へ行こうか。
Seeing you smile like that satisfies me, too. We should probably head to school soon, though. We both make our way to school once I wash the mugs we used. Hmm.
そういえば、学校はどうなってたの？先週私サボったことになってないかな。
Oh yeah, what happened with school anyway? Hopefully Faye didn't make it so that we skipped a whole week.
伝え忘れていたね。 爆破事故と火災のせいで1週間休校だったのさ。だから僕たちの知っている先週と状況はそう変わらないと思うよ。
Oh, I forgot to mention that. It closed for a week after the fire incident, so not much different from the events we went through.
なら大丈夫だね。お待たせ。じゃあ行こう。
Good to hear. Let's get going then. We take in the clear blue sky while we walk toward Amecha.
いやー、久々の学校は疲れますな。半分以上寝て過ごしてしまったのだよ。
Surely it's not that exhausting being asleep. Phew, ain't nothing more time than being back at school after a week off. I must have spent half the time sleeping.
マオの場合、いつもとあんまり変わらないんじゃ。
So you just did the same thing you always
い
do?
やしかし、1週間も休みっていうのはちょっとやりすぎだよね。さすがのうちも暇を持て余しちゃったよ。
Gotta admit, I think they went a bit overboard closing it for a whole week. I was starting to get bored out of my
ピー
skull.
ターもミハルもここぞとばかりにお仕事してたみたいだし。
You two were toiling away when I wanted to do stuff too. Seems like the world has changed things up after all. The pivotal moment I shared with Mao has been undone. That was the first time I've had to see her cry, but now I'm the only one who knows just how strong and compassionate she can be. I'm pretty sure Lionhouse is closed all week, so I can only assume I lied to her about working. Guess I should check last week's bills and stuff when I get back. Oh creep. I need to get in touch with Gran as well. Chances are I haven't done so in a while. I can't help but smirk as I remember all of this.
まあ、一番大変なのはナオリンだよね。
Well, I guess New Orleans had it the roughest.
ね。
Oh? I make sure to give a vague reaction. Mao follows up.
目の前で爆発が起きてさ。怪我はなかったからいいものの、現場にいた分、マスコミにもいろいろ聞かれただろうし。
She is alive. She wasn't hurt or anything, but the press was all over her because she saw the whole thing happen firsthand.
大部分は学校が対応して守ってくれたみたいだけどさ。それでもどこからかナオリンのことを探すんでしょ。
The school took initiative to keep them away from her, but that didn't stop them from trying to track her down every now and then.
怪我は。
She wasn't hurt?
せっかく文化祭のために一生懸命頑張ったのに、1日目で終了だもんね。対応は正しいのかもだけど、せめて中止じゃなくて延期にすればよかったのに。
A shame the festival ended after just one day after she worked so hard for it. Can't fault their decision, but they could have postponed it instead of outright cancelling it.
あ、ナオリンはこれからリーターのところでアルバイトとして雇ったらどう？うちもしかして天才じゃ。
Oh, maybe you could hire Neolene to work at Lionhouse. Holy creep, I might be a genius. Mao's words are going in one ear and out the other by this point. Mao isn't part of divine selection, so hearing her say Naomi's fine has me over the moon.
リーター？
Really?
あ、ごめん。ちょっとぼーっとしちゃっ
Oh,
て。
sorry, I kind of spaced out.
リーターもまだ休み気分が抜けてませんな。さて、そろそろお昼を買いに。
Oh, whatever. Good to see I ain't the only one still in holiday mode. We should probably get to some food soon.
先輩？
Rinka! A voice rings out just as Mao urges me toward the cafeteria. A voice that hits me like a ton of bricks. It almost feels like I've lost all the strength in my body. It doesn't last long, however, as I find myself sprinting towards the source of the voice immediately. Naomi! Aww. Oh, I understand why. Naomi? Yeah. What's wrong, Rinka?
どうしたんですか、リンカ先輩。
Oh,
ナオミ。
thank goodness. It's so good to see you. Everyone's staring, but I don't care. I hug her with everything I have. Fortunately, my face is buried in her clothes, so nobody could see the tears welling up in my eyes.
仕方ないな。
I'll let it slide just this once.
ミハルンが怒ってない。
No way. Mahalu's not foaming at the mouth.
ちょっとどうしたんですか？
What's wrong? Did something happen?
ごめん。もうちょっとだけこのままでいさせて。
Sorry, just Let me stay like this for a bit longer.
リータンが告った。
Yo, is this a confession?
それは違う。まあ今くらいはいいさ。
Don't be ridiculous. Oh well. It can't hurt to leave them be for now. I spend the next 5 minutes hugging her tight. Most of that time is spent waiting for my tears to reside. Those who don't understand the situation, Mal included, probably assume I've gone off the deep end. Rumors are gonna spread fast, but I don't care.
生きていてくれてありがとう。
Thank you for being alive. Thank you. Saying that is just going to confuse her even more, considering she doesn't remember what happened. Even so, I have to say it. Okay, there are some things are not worth being said.
お邪魔します。
Hello?
お待たせ。羊さんとはちょうどそこで出くわしてね。
Sorry for the wait. I happened to bump into Naomi outside. Mahara and Naomi came to Linehouse after school. After I looked into it, it turns out I closed the store for a week due to my being ill. I made sure to tell my gran and that it'd be open as usual starting tomorrow. Mahalo and Naomi saunter over to our usual table. Once there, I sat down next to Mahalo. The reason for them both being here is obvious. We're going to fill Naomi in on everything. I wasn't sure how much I should tell her at first, but I think it's best if we reveal everything. It's entirely possible that things could repeat themselves if I keep certain things from her.
女神の選定のことですね。
This is about divine selection, isn't it? There's no one could keep this from her. Naomi seems to understand too.
どこまで覚えてる？
Yeah, how much do you remember?
私が覚えているのは文化祭の前日、公園でリンカ先輩と二人きりで話した。
Well, I remember that we spent some time alone talking in the park the day before the culture festival.
二人きりで。
Just the two of you, huh? Naomi gives Mahalu a panicked look of apology before turning her attention back to me.
それで文化祭の日にゆうくんの姿を見つけて、追いかけた先の教室で爆発に巻き込まれたのを覚えているんです。
That's a bit of a paradox then. After that, I remember getting caught up in an explosion after I followed you to an empty classroom.
その後の私の記憶は意識を失って病院で目を覚ましたってところから始まります。熱中症のような症状で目立った外傷はなし。
So, you was there, but at the same time he wasn't. I don't remember anything between that and waking up in the hospital though. I was told that I collapsed from some form of heat stroke, but that's about it.
奇跡が起こったって思いました。でもなぜかおかしいんです。そこからの記憶が曖昧で。
So she must have been...
本を読んだり遊んだりしてたはずなのに。
So she must have been... Oh gosh. So she must have been knocked out cold during the time between her previous demise and the moment that we woke up. I figured I miraculously made it out alive, but something didn't add up. I felt like I spent my time reading books and such during the school's closure, and yet for some reason, I can't remember doing so.
その間に読んだ本も手帳に書いてあるんですけど、内容をあんまり覚えていないんです。
It's just so nice seeing you once again, Naomi. I even wrote down the book titles I read in my notebook, but I can't remember what they were about.
そして何より夢を見るんです。
Oh my gosh.
直前、リンカ先輩が目の前で死んじゃ見える。同じくらいの現実感で。
Most telling, however,
ゆうくんに殺される夢。
Most telling, however, is that I started to have nightmares in which you killed me. They were as realistic as the ones I had about you dying, Rinka.
でもそれが本当に見た夢か、夢を見たように思っているだけなのかわからないんです。
I'm not sure if those were actual dreams I had, or ones I just felt like I had.
ナオミはもうそれがどういう意味か分かってるんだね。
You should be aware of the meaning behind that by now.
はい。 私はその時、死んでしまっていたんですね。
Yes,
そして犯人ユウ君だ。
I died, didn't I? You must have killed me on that day.
ユウ君が脱落した後、選定期間中の行動はなかったこと。
His actions.
私を殺した彼の行動もなかったこと。
His actions taken during device selection were undone after his elimination, which includes when he killed me.
なるほど。羊さんの場合は記憶の改変具合が他の人より大きいという推測くらいしか今はできないけれど、君は世界が改変された2つの記憶を比較的はっきりと持っている。
I see. This is just a theory, but Naomi's memories seem to have been affected more than everyone else's. You've ended up with memories of what happened both before and after the world's events changed.
そこまで理解しているなら、この件については僕たちからこれ以上話すことはないだろう。
Both of
そうい
them.
う記憶だ。不用意に思い出させるのは忍びない。
There's not much left for us to say based on your understanding of the situation. The last thing we want is for you to remember something as painful as that.
三島先輩、ありがとうございます。それで、リンカ先輩、すみませんでした。きっと先輩がユウ君を脱落させたんですよね。
We did it for you, Naomi. Thank you. I appreciate your concern. Also, I hate to ask this, but it was you who eliminated you, wasn't it?
私のために、そんな。
I can't believe you did so much for me.
羊さん、それは。
Don't bring that up.
いいんだよ。
It's okay. I assure Mahalo before I continue.
でもミハルの言う通り、ナオミが謝ることは何もない。ユウの指名は私の意思で決めたことなんだ。
Mahalo's right. You don't need to apologize for any of it. I made the decision to elect him myself.
いろいろ大変だったんだ。他の参加者たちと協力したり、拳銃を持たされたりしてさ。
It wasn't easy though. First I had to cooperate with other participants, and then they had me use a gun.
どうやったらそんな状況に。
Well, what? How did things escalate to that point? Naomi stares in awe as I explain the sequence of events, how I worked together with Odette and Alan to prevent the attack on Tokyo Tower, how I witnessed yet another explosion on a train. I go on talking for a while, long enough that we have to take a break in the middle of my story. Mahalo probably gets the gist of the situation, but this is the first time I've talked to her about it properly. Needless to say, she seems almost as surprised as Naomi.
それでさ、二人に言おうと思ってたことがあるんだ。
Anyway, there's something I want to tell both of you.
なんだい？
Whatever could it be?
何ですか？
What is it?
私は生きたいって思った。この選定の途中、いろんな思いをして、いろんな思いを託された。
That is true dedication and justice right there. And empathy. I've accepted my desire to live. Not only have I learned and felt a lot throughout device selection, but I'm also carrying the feelings of others with me.
そのことを無駄にはしたくない。
I don't want any of that to go to waste.
ようやく君は決意してくれたんだね。
You finally found a resolution to do what you need to then.
でもね、だからミハルを犠牲にするなんてことはできない。私の世界にはミハルもナオミもマオもおばあちゃんも猫のレテだって大切なものがいないとダメなんだ。
Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not about to sacrifice you for that cause. There's no meaning to my life without people like you, Naomi, Mao, my gran, even Livy.
ソーニャがいつか言ってたよね。 運命が悪いように変わるならいいようにも変わるって。私はいい人でいるのはやめる。私にとって都合のいいように運命を変えたい。
Sonia said that if fate can change for the worse, then it can also change for the better. I'm done with being a goody two-shoes. I'm going to change fate so that it suits my needs and not the other way around.
方法はわからないけど、まだ何もわからないけど、少なくともナオミを助けることはできた。
I have no idea how I'll accomplish that, but at the very least, I was able to save Naomi so far. Saved her twice, actually.
だから私はミハルと二人で生き残る。その可能性を見つけてみせる。
That's why I'm going to find a way to make sure both of us last through this. I'm well aware that I've no leads whatsoever when it comes to how I'll accomplish this. Still, I want my intentions to be clear. This is the first step towards realizing that desire.
申し訳ないけれど僕は賛同できないな。可能性はなさすぎるだろ。
Sorry, but I disagree. You realize how slim the odds are of being able to accomplish such a thing, don't you?
そう言うと思ってた。
I figured you'd say that.
三島先輩。でも、もしそういう
No,
方法
don't
が
say another word, Naomi.
私は
Should such a method exist, then I...
しかし僕たちが最後の二人にならなければ
Quite.
何も成し遂げられないことに変わりはないさ。
However, your plan requires us two to be the last remaining participants.
そう言うとも思ってた。だからそれまでに何か手がかりを見つける。
I figured you'd say that too. That's why I'll make sure to find a way, but it comes to that.
なんだか私の出る幕はないって感じになっちゃいましたね。
I feel entirely out of place with this discussion.
違う。学園祭が終わったら改めてって言ったでしょ。だからこれはお願い。
That's not true at all. I asked you to help me once the culture festival had ended, didn't I? This is my proposal.
ここからは私たち3人で戦おう。相手は他の参加者じゃない。私たちの運命だ。
Let's work together, the three of us, not against the other participants, but against our own fate. I'm finally able to say it. Perhaps I've wanted to say this ever since divine selection began. It wasn't possible before. I lacked the resolution required to do so, but things are different now. I fully accepted my desire to live.
あくまで方法があればという前提ではあるけれど賛成させてもらうよ。
Assuming there is a way to pull this off, you can count me in.
私もその言葉を
Likewise,
待っていました。
I've been waiting for this.
ありがとう。
Thanks, you two. Both of them smile at me, and I smile back.
では僕はバイトがあってね。ここで失礼させてもらうよ。
I'll have to take my leave here, I'm afraid. Work calls. That said, Mahalo makes her way out.
ねえ、ミハル。隠し事はもうなしにしようよ。今日はバイトじゃなくてさ、スケールさんたちと会いに行くんでしょ。
Let's not keep things from one another, Mahalo. You're not going to work. You're going to meet with Scale and them, aren't you? I'll follow after Mahalo when she exits the Lionhouse. I asked Naomi to stay inside before running off, though. I want to speak with Mahalo alone.
ああ、そうだ。僕は彼らと協力してオデット、アランの両名を脱落させる。そして協力関係を維持しつつスケールとフェデリーコの情報を探り彼らも脱落させてみせる。
Yes, that's right. My priority is to eliminate Odette and Alan with their help, but I'm also going to get as much info as I can on them at the same time so I can eliminate them afterwards.
性質としては悪だね。まさか君はこの後に及んで 人を裏切ることはいけないとでも言うつもりかい？
The act of betraying others is inherently evil, but it's imperative. I certainly hope you're not going to chide me for it.
違うよ。美晴にはさ、それが本当にできるの？
I won't. But do you really think you'll be able to pull it off?
やり遂げるさ。君のために。
I'm able to do anything for your sake.
そうじゃないだろう。
You know that's not what I mean. Mahalo stares at me in response to my outburst.
ごめん、怒っちゃった。でも聞いて、私は美晴の行動に文句を言うつもりはない。むしろ逆。私はもう一人で美晴に背負わせたくはないよ。
Sorry, I shouldn't have raised my voice. Please hear me out. I'm not against what you're planning, quite the opposite really. I don't want to let you do this all on your own anymore.
私も一緒に背負わせてほしい。ナオミが私にそう言って救われたように、私も美晴の力になりたい。
I want you to let me shoulder your burden, much like what Naomi did for me.
また羊さん。
So it's about Naomi again, huh?
いや、そういう意味じゃ。
Huh? I didn't mean it to come across that way.
まあいいさ。君の気持ちは嬉しいけれど、気持ちを受け取るにとどめておくよ。
Quite.
さっきも言っただろ。僕たちはまず最後の二人にならなくてはならないんだ。
Oh well, I appreciate your concern, but I'll leave it at that. As I said earlier, your plan hinges on us being the last remaining participants.
君はその先の方法だけを探せばいい。君にははっきり言わなくては伝わらないね。他の参加者のことは僕に任せてくれ。
You won't focus unless I say it loud and clear, so listen. You focus on finding out what to do once we reach that point. Leave the other participants to me.
今回の件も君は自ら危険に飛び込んだ。運命に縛られて死なないだけで、火災というのは火傷のような外傷だけでなく、煙や酸欠空気による内臓への損傷の危険性もあるんだ。
You've gotten a bit too used to throwing yourself into dangerous situations, especially the last time. The fire may not have hurt you in the end, thanks to fate doing its thing. But don't forget that internal damage from smoke inhalation and such could have been a possibility.
何度も指摘してきたはずだ。君は他の参加者に深入りしすぎる。だからね、君が運命と立ち向かうと決めたのは僕にとって朗報だったよ。
I've said this plenty of times already, but you're getting far too involved with other participants. That's why I was glad to hear you say you would stand up to fate itself.
美晴、まさか私を他の参加者から遠ざけるために、さっきは同意したの？もしかして美晴は運命に勝てるなんて
Don't tell
思って
me,
いないの？
don't tell me you only agreed to my plan to keep me away from the other participants. Don't you believe that we can beat fate at its own game?
さて、そろそろ行かないとバイトに遅れてしまう。短時間のシフトだけれど、入っているのは嘘じゃないんだ。
Who knows? Anyway, I need to hurry. I do actually have a shift today. A bait is a short way.
私
Short
は
one.
信じてるよ。私たちなら運命を変えられるって。
I believe what I said, that we can change fate together.
僕もリンカを信じている。けれどそれ以上に、リン
And
カを
I
愛して
believe
いる。
in you. It just turns out that my love for you trumps that belief. Saying that, Mahalo makes her way to the station. There was nothing I could do or I could say to her after that. I had no comeback. It's a fact that I lack information on both the other participants and how to ensure our mutual survival. All I'm doing right now is speaking on a scenario I want to see happen. That's why Mahalo brushed me off. I doubt she'll only fill me in on a bare minimum like she did previously at least. Either way, I intend to do things differently as well.
運命を変える方法を私は見つけるよ。
I'll find out how to change fate for us no matter what. Mahalo is already determined to make nothing but progress. She has been ever since divine selection begun. The same has to apply to me now. I don't want her lying for my sake anymore. Well then, we shall see.
大 大丈夫でしたか？
Did things go well?
多分ナオミが心配していた通りになったよ。
They went how you were probably worried they would. My response leave her a bit surprised. I'm aware of how smart Naomi is. There's no doubt she realized what we were arguing over.
でもだからこそ私はちゃんと2人とも生き残れる方法がないか探すんだ。手がかりは完全にないってわけじゃないんだ。例えばこの本。
It's even more reason for me to find a way for both of us to survive. It's not like I don't have any leads. Take this book, for example.
女神の選定のものって思い込んで最初に考えるのをやめちゃったけどさ、デザインとか想定とかもっと注意して調べてみるべきかもしれない。
I never paid much attention to it, thinking it's just a tool for divine selection. But it might be worth having a deeper look at its design and binding, that sort of stuff.
先輩、それを調べてどうするつもりなんですか？
What would you gain from doing so?
女神の選定。女神そのものを知る。
Information regarding divine selection, rather, the goddess behind it. We've been so focused on the dream world and the events in the real world being altered that we simply accepted everything about it. We never once tried to go against rules because to let ourselves be convinced that we shouldn't. In reality, though, we shouldn't let ourselves question the very nature of divine selection.
それにまずパルカって名前を調べるべきなのかな。私は全然詳しくないけど神話とかそういうのもあるよね。
I guess we should research past her too. I'm not too familiar with ancient myths and stuff, but there might be something about her.
それなら、ちょっと力になれるかもしれません。私、神
Aww.
話のことを調べてたんです。女神っていうくらいだから何かわかるかなって。
I should be able to help with that. I actually did some research myself based on her claim of being a goddess. I figured I might be able to find something useful.
結局、神話は神話だなって思って気にしていなかったんですけど、今はどんな情報が役に立つかわからないですもんね。
I walked away convinced that myths are just myths in the end, but we might find something that will come in handy now. Naomi whips out her notepad and flips to the first few pages. She must have written stuff while researching. After reading through them a bit, she turns her attention back to me.
パルカっていうのはローマ神話の運命の女神の総称のようです。
Pass it as a generic term used for the fates in Roman mythology.
デキマ、ノーナ、モルタっていう3種類がいるそうで、それぞれギリシャ神話のモイラっていう運命の女神と対応している
There
っ
are
て
three in
書いてあり
total.
ました。
Decima, Nona, and Morta. Each exists as an equivalent of the Moriel from Gold mythology.
人間が生まれた時にその人の人生、運命を決定する女神たちだそうです。
Apparently, they decide the individual fates of each person at their birth.
運命の女神。パルカが夢の世界で言っていたのと同じだね。運命の大広間に運命の大時計。
That's close to what Parser said in the dream world. What's more, both the court and clock of fate are there.
時計、歯車。夢の世界はそういうもので作られていた。私たちに割り当てられた12の番号も時計の文字盤の数と一致している。
The dream world itself is filled with clock and gear motifs. The numbers given to each participant coincides with those on an analog clock too.
時間の神っていうとギリシャ神話のクロノスって神様の方が有名ですよね。
Time. Greek mythology's Kronos is most well known when it comes to deities related to that, I believe.
でも私たちの使命、死因、未練のカードは現在、過去、未来の象徴で私たちの運命を表してるってパルカは言ってた。
Parser said that our three cards represent our past, present, and future.
運命を時間で表現しているってことなんでしょうか。そういえば リンカ先輩のカードブックも歯車みたいな飾りがついてますよね。
Does that mean fate is represented through time itself? That reminds me, the card book has gears in its design, doesn't it?
時計の中身って歯車がたくさんありましたよね。だから歯車から時計から時間から運命をそれぞれ連想できるようになっている。そういうことなんでしょうか。
A number of gears within a clock, yes? In that case, it's probably to make the connection from gears to clocks, from clocks to time, and finally time to fate, right?
本だったらまれに運命の歯車なんて表現も出てきますしね。
You even see expressions like the wheel of fate in books sometimes.
でも夢の世界のモチーフが分かったってだけだよね。全然真に迫ってる気がしない。
Well, that only helps us understand the motive behind the dream world. Doesn't really feel like we've gotten near the core of the matter.
モチーフ？ちょっと待ってください。それっておかしくないですか？
Hang on. Don't you think it's a bit odd for the dream world to have a motive at all?
おかしい？ナオミ、何か気づいたの？
How so? Did you think of something?
いえ、そういうわけでは。でも、はるかさんっていうのは女神様なんですよね。なのに、人間の考えるモチーフと合致しているって何か違和感があって。
Not quite, but Pasta claims to be a goddess, correct? Why would she design something to comply with motives that regular humans would think of?
パルカは夢の世界っていう人間の認識できないものを認識できるように作ったって言ってた。
She explained that the dream world was designed in order for us to be able to perceive it because we can't under normal circumstances.
だから人々の思う運命の女神っていうイメージから時計とか歯車とかがモチーフになった空間が生まれてもおかしくないんじゃないかな。
If that's the case, then it only makes sense that it'd be full of stuff that we'd normally associate with fate and the like. We just made the connections there ourselves, in fact. Plus, one's personal perception plays a vital role in the contents of one's own cards.
そうなんですけど。ごめんなさい。リンカ先輩の言う通りなんですけど、ちょっとだけ変な感じがして。
That makes sense, but sorry, something just feels off, despite you making a good point.
謝らなくていいよ。ナオミが感じた違和感は大切にして。私たちはそういうのを持たずに目の前の出来事を受け入れちゃってたわけだし。
No need to apologize. Don't forget that feeling. Us participants didn't question any of this stuff. Naomi nods, but still looks somewhat apologetic. I can't quite understand what she must be feeling, in all honesty. Chances are part of me is still convinced there's no point in overthinking things, because Parcia is a goddess, and how I was telling myself I'd quit that sort of thinking not long ago.
でもやっぱりあんまり役に立てませんでした。
Naomi, don't say that. I didn't prove to be useful after all.
そんなことないよ。ありがとう。
Don't say that, it's not true. I should have figured something was up far sooner, yet Naomi here is one who to go ahead and do the research before I even noticed.
さて、今日はここまでかな。ねえ、ナオミ。明日の放課後、図書館に一緒に行ってくれない？
I guess we should wrap things up for today. Wanna come with me to the library after school tomorrow?
図書館。はい、もちろんです。
The library? I'd love to.
ありがとう。明日はカードブックについて調べよう。
Thanks. We'll start with the card book first. It's already dark outside, so I walk Naomi to the station. She said she'd be fine, but Odette knows all about Lionhouse, which means Alan probably knows too. I can't see them focusing their efforts on me at this point, but even so, I'd rather not let Naomi walk around at night on her own. There is the off chance that something could happen. Miharu?
何度も言うけれど、僕は一階の高校生なんだ。 あまりこういう店に呼び出さないでくれ。それにアルバイト帰りでね、疲れているから手短にしてほしい。
Let's see what's going on. How many times must I repeat myself? Stop calling me a regular high school student out to a shady place like this, especially when they're on their way home from work. I'm exhausted. Keep it brief.
アルバイト？例のなんとか喫茶が。あそこはやめた方がいいぜ。この辺りの夜の仕事の方が時給はいいみたいだ。
Frederico, you should know the intensity behind your own words. Just shut that mouth. Worker, you should quit that crazy joint. Looks like there's plenty of night jobs around here that pay better too.
そうじゃないさ、フェデリーコ君。あの場所にはわびさびがあっただろ。
She's not doing it for...
そこにやりがいを感じているのさ。
She's not doing it for the money, Frederico. It's the atmosphere that keeps you there, isn't it?
今すぐ辞めたいくらい。
It's the atmosphere that makes me want to quit, actually. Mahalo finds herself at Milk Crown once more. Scale and Frederico are perched on their usual seats. Naturally, Odette is nowhere to be seen.
オデットさんの姿がないね。
Might I ask where Odette is? Mahalo hears the details from Rinka, but opts to play the fool. This is their first time gathering since Odette had told them to leave the heavy lifting to her. Mahalo finds herself curious about the two parties' exchanges between then and today.
聡明な君ならもう気づいているだろう。彼女は離反したよ。
Surely you're keen enough to realize she's defected.
そして俺の提供した情報をもとに、君のお友達と協力してユウの脱落まで成し遂げたということだね。
What's more, she took the information I provided and used it to eliminate you, all while cooperating with your friend too.
あいつはおそらくアランとも協力してたはずだ。
She probably worked together with Alan.
どうしてそう思うのかな。
What makes you say that?
ただの勘だ。リンカってのは戦いになったら足手まといだろ。
Just a hunch. Rinka can't fight her way out of a paper bag, can she? That comment doesn't suit well for Mahalo, but she lets Frederico
直
continue.
後の報道じゃ銃弾で撃たれた男がいたみたいじゃねえか。その後行方不明なんてアラン以外に考えられねえ。
The news was talking about some dude that got shot but disappeared. Alan's the only one who could have pulled that off.
なるほど。そうなると問題は、リンカはいいとして、オデットとアランが未だ協力関係を結んでいるかが問題だな。
Good point. That leaves us with the issue of whether or not Odette and Alan are still working together. Rinka may be as well, but we probably don't need to worry about her.
どっちの可能性もあるな。アランの情報もオデットも評価してる。
Could swing either way, really. Odette has nothing but praise for his information network.
となると俺たちは二人の脱落が急務だな。
Well, that makes their elimination our top priority. Scale, Frederico, and Mahalo versus Rinka, Odette, and Alan. That is the situation those two are imagining, but Mahalo knows this isn't the case. There are 3 teams, not 2. Scale and Frederico, Mahalo and Rinka, and Odette and Alan. 2 versus 2 versus 2 versus 1. Mahalo's goal is to obscure Rinka's perception.
両方同時は
Participation.
現実的ではないね。僕がアランの親友を教えてもいいけれど、まだ彼の未練の手がかりはないのだろう。
Taking both on at the same time seems like a recipe for disaster. I could tell you his cause of death right now, but you still have no leads to on his regrets,
雑
correct?
誌のインタビュー記事や過去の公な発言を洗ってみたが、結果は想像通りだ。
I went through all the public statements and interviews with him thus far, but it's as you said.
彼の身辺を調査させているが、家族構成程度しか分かっていない。
Yep, well that is a start. I've been looking into his personal life, but right now all I've got is information about his family.
家族構成？
His family?
母親は彼が幼い頃に病死。父親は彼が16歳の頃に殺害されている。
His mother died of an illness while he was young, and his father was murdered when he was 16.
殺害？
Murdered?
一体。
How'd that happen?
アランの父親はもともと小さな宝石商を営んでいたらしい。 インド国内の採掘場から原石を買い付けて加工会社へ卸していたそうだ。
His father was running a small jeweler business of his own. He'd buy up ore from the mines within India and sell it off to the manufacturing companies
小
themselves.
金持ちになった弊害かはわからないけれども、どうやら欲が出たらしくてね。貧しい人々への金貸しも始めたらしい。
I'm not sure if the money is what changed him or not, but he started to get greedy at some point. He started to loan money out to those who wanted it.
金融業者なんて立派なものじゃない。日本では闇金というのだったかな。かなりアコギな商売だったそうだ。
And well, moneylenders aren't exactly the nicest people in the world. It's easy to say he was a loan shark more than anything else. That's how bad it got.
恨みを買ったってわけだな。そりゃあやられた方が悪いわな。
So basically, someone with a grudge smoked him. It's his own fault for getting it done then. Frederico's claim held extra weight because he had done the same work as Alan's father during his days in the mafia. Scales shrugs in agreement.
なるほどね。
Well then, Mahalo is able to establish a link between his information and the cause of death she is privy
そ
to.
の後、10代だったアラン・スコーピオンが父のルートを利用して会社を立ち上げ、財を成したのは有名な話だね。
You do get very young entrepreneurs. Alan's exploits in using his father's connection after that to build up his company and make a fortune, all while in his teens, are pretty well
ちな
known.
みに現在の彼の家族構成は弟が4人と妹が1人だそうだ。彼ら家族はアランの収入が支えているらしい。
Speaking of his family, he currently has 4 younger brothers and 1 sister. His income is what's supporting them, it seems.
だとすれば、その家族ってのがアランの未練じゃねえ。
Wouldn't that make his family his regret then? You mean not being able to see them?
俺もそれを想定したんだけどね。残念ながらまだこれ以上の背景情報が手に入っていないんだ。
I figured out myself, but no dice. That's all I have intel-wise.
会社やら経営、財産とかは想定してみたけど違ったからよ。あんたに頼るしかないんだ。頼むぜ。
I also tried stuff related to his business and fortune, but nope, all I got here, man.
家族という線は俺も濃厚だと思っている。任せてくれとは言わないが、俺の仲間には高い報酬を約束している。必ず情報を掴んでくれるさ。
His family definitely seems suspect. I won't promise anything myself, but I've already got a bud on the case. He'll get a hefty reward out of it, so I can't see him not coming through.
君の仲間かい？
One of your buds, huh?
おっと、これ以上は俺の情報に関わるから教えられないね。しかしまあ、ジャーナリストのようなものと思ってくれ。
Oops, can't risk revealing my own information here. Think of him as a journalist of sorts. Mahalo nods her head once again.
それではまだアランの死因は教えられないね。
I guess I'll be keeping his cause of death to myself for now.
は
Huh?
あ？なんでだよ。
Why's that?
向こうのグループのリンカと同じだ。非力で社会的な力を持っていない僕は用済みと判断されればおしまいだからね。
My position's no different from Rinka's group, well, Rinka and the other group. You can cut me off with ease once you think I've outlived my usefulness.
非常に合理的な判断だね。構わないよ。アランの情報は未練が判明したら教えてくれ。死因まで調べなくていいというだけで気が楽だ。
Hahaha, only natural to think like that. I'm fine with you keeping it to yourself until we uncover his regret. Makes it easier to proceed knowing we don't need to worry about his cause of death.
そうなると、俺たちも黙っているわけ。
Guess us two gotta put in the work then.
分かっているさ。オデット、君の元仲間を狙うわけだろ。
I'm aware. You're going after Odetti, aren't you? Must be tough going up against a former comrade.
人が嫌がる言い方を心得てるみてえだな。それこそ、あんたのはオデットほどじゃねえな。
You sure know how to pee people off, don't you? Not as bad as Odetti, though.
まあいい。オデットの死因のフォーム、俺はすでに手に入れている。
Anyway, I've already figured out her cause of death.
本当か？
Really? When did she manage that?
昨日の夜だ。一人になってふと自分の怪我を見ていて思い出した。
Last night, something came to mind when I was looking at my wounds.
俺は死の間際、あいつと同じ場所にいた。
Can't spill the details since it's related to my own info, but both of us were in the same place when we died.
詳細は俺の情報にもつながっちまうから教えられないが
She had?
あいつは腹に傷を負ってた
There's only very few possibilities of that though. Even saying she had a big wound on her stomach back then is still something to be considered. Because if a wound could be anywhere, if you just said big wound, then it could be anywhere and the cause of it would be, well, will have a lot more variants of how it could happen than to this. She had a big wound on her stomach back then, as you saw.
選定が始まってからもあいつに傷はない
As you...
その傷がオデットの死因だったってわけだ
As you saw, that wound was gone when device selection kicked off. Easy to assume that was her cause of death. Frederico takes a card from his book, allowing both to glance at it. The contents read as follow. Numerial 11. Blood loss. Mahalo and Scale are unable to obtain the card themselves, however. Both understand it is due to the lack of knowledge as to how that came to pass.
君はそんな大事なことを今日まで忘れていたんだ。
I'm rather amazed you forgot about that until now.
うっそいあんな体力バカのゴリラ女とずっと一緒にいたんだ思い出すもんも思い出せなかったんだよ
Yeah, she is a very, very frightening individual, that he is. So, shut it! Hard to remember the important stuff when you're stuck around that beast all the time.
死の瞬間同じ場所にいたと言っていたねその場合オデットさんも君の死因を持っていると思った方がいいのではないかい
You were both at the same place when you died. Wouldn't it be safe to assume she knows your cause of death as well?
ああその可能性は俺も元から想定してたさだが未練までは持ってないだろう
Yep, I figured that much. I guarantee she doesn't know my regret though.
でなけりゃあいつを裏切った俺が前回の選定で指名されてない理由が説明できないからな
Wouldn't make sense if she did, but opted not to elect me during the last election after I stabbed her in the back.
なるほど
That does make sense.
それよりだミハルあんたはオデットの未練に心当たりがあると言っていたな
More importantly, you said you've got a lead on her regret, right?
俺も覚えている。このままでいけば、オデットを指名するのはフェデリーコ君になる。
I recall you saying that too. Frederico has a good chance of electing her at this rate.
そろそろオデットの未練を教えてくれないか。
Would you mind revealing that info to us?
僕は彼女の未練そのものを知っているわけではないよあくまで心当たりがあるだけだ
Do keep in mind that I only mentioned having a lead. I don't have a solid idea of what it is.
それで構わないというのならそうだね話すならばこのタイミングしかないだろう
This is probably the best time to reveal it, so I'll go on ahead and do so if you're fine with that.
子供僕はそれが彼女の未練につながるものだと思っている
I'm fairly sure it's related to the concept of her child. Mahalo makes sure to explain her reasoning. Sophia served as the trigger of this line of thought. Odette granted her the opportunity to see the world for herself. She never had to do such a thing. She simply could have forced the information out of Sophia then and there. The risk of Sophia revealing her information did exist, but Odette could have handled that in a number of ways. Instead, she chose the most inefficient yet compassionate route. Sophia trusted in that decision of hers too. Mahalo is aware that Sophia was wise beyond her years. She wouldn't have believed Odette so readily. It would have been normal to assume Odette would break her promise immediately. That was part of the puzzle that just didn't fit, one that led Mahalo to a certain theory. Sophia understood that Odette was being compassionate, not by instinct, but because she knew Odette's regret.
あの女は感情で動く女だ。仕事も好き嫌いで受けるか受けないかを決める。そんなことを話した記憶はあるぜ。
Work and family and memories. All of them could have one converging point. Now that could be based on emotions, but what kind of emotions? Pretty sure I mentioned before that she's the type to act based on emotions, not logic. She turn down or accept work based on them.
しかし子供か。当然これだけではカードも生まれない。
That's quite the interesting theory, though not quite enough to make a card appear just yet.
ここまではある程度の状況証拠に基づいた仮説さ。ここからが僕の推論だ。
It's mostly based on circumstantial evidence. What I'm about to say now is my own conjecture.
オデットさんは自分で自分の生き方を選べる人。フェデリーコさん、僕の考えは間違っているかい？
Odetti's the type to not let others decide how she lives her life. Isn't that right, Frederico?
あいつほど人の指図を受けないやつは珍しいと思うぜ。
You ain't gonna find many people who refuse to take orders the way she does. Frederico gives us a quick answer and a deep nod. Scale resolves his chin on his hand. He seems to follow Mahalu's implication. When he catches Mahalu's gaze, he offers his own thoughts.
彼女は見込んで子供もいないはず。しかし子供という言葉が関連して未練になるほどの強い思いとなると、彼女には子供を産めない理由があるということだろうか。
She's unmarried and has no children, as far as I know, but assume a child is linked to her regret, then it might be a case of her not being able to give birth.
例えば肉体的な理由。
Perhaps due to physical complications. However, no card manifests from his conjecture. Scale remains convinced they are on the right track
ま
regardless.
だ何か足りないようだけれど、俺は君の話がオデットの未練からそう遠くないとも思う。
We're missing concrete evidence. We're missing something, but I'm pretty sure this is a good lead to follow.
わかった。オデット・マランソンの過去の病歴や手術歴を調べさせる。産婦人科系に絞ってだ。
Alright, I'll have someone dig up Odetti's clinical records. Should be fine to stick purely to maternity and gynecological exams. Gynecological exams, right?
話が早くて助かるね。では、僕はもう失礼するよ。また君の情報が集まったら呼んでくれ。前
That
にも言
settles
ったけ
things
れど
then.
高校生の僕が遅くにこういう店に出入りするのは良くないからね。
I'll be going now, so get in contact when you find something out. As I said before, I'd rather avoid coming here too often.
まあ待てよ。場所を変えたっていい。もう少し付き合わないか。朝まで過ごせば帰って問題なくなるぜ。
Wait, I don't mind if we go somewhere else. So how about we keep hanging out? Ain't no problem if you leave in the morning.
下品で最低だよ。
You're a scumbag, you know that. Mahalu shoots Frederico an icy cold glare before leaving. She has no idea that both of these men wind up drinking till morning. That is the problem. I also think that we should move venue as well. Just because Odetti knows where they'd be then.
生きてた。
Odetti's alive. She's really alive. I still can't get over how happy I am. I saw her died right before my eyes, but here I am, able to see her alive and well once again. It's nothing short of a miracle, but at the same time, Yui's remorseful cries after I elected him have stuck with me. Those were his earnest feelings. I even experienced the scene of his death. Both of us died on a train, but the manner in which we passed differed.
でももう決めたから。
I've already made my decision though. Those memories aren't enough to stop me now. I don't regret my decision. His life has served as the stepping stone I need to propel myself forward.
さてと。
Let's see here. Lionhouse will be back in business starting tomorrow. I've already gotten in contact with my gran about the logistics and I sorted out all the orders required. All I have to do now is go to bed, but I keep futzing over with my phone. I want to talk to my gran for a bit, mainly because I have nowhere else to funnel all the feelings I've experienced the past several weeks.
たまには甘えたっていい。めったに泣かなかった私に、おばあちゃんは口癖のように言ってた。
Aww. She did tell me that it's fine to spoil yourself once in a while after she noticed how little I let myself cry in front of others. I should be able to get away from it. Or get away it. Get away just for today. That doesn't make sense to me. Oh gosh. Yeah. We ended up talking a lot longer than anticipated. Well, it was mostly because she blabbed on about when I was still a baby. It was a topic she only touched on briefly before about the time I was born. Apparently my parents passed away in a fire immediately after my birth. She doesn't remember much about what happened to herself, but the nature of both, the shock, and how busy she was at the time. No one remembers the actual time my mum... Okay. My dad probably would, but he's no longer here either. According to her, I was found crying in the smouldering ruins of a fire, almost like I magically peered out of the flames. Gran also doesn't remember when she came to learn my name. However, she does remember that my mum was the one that named me Rinka, as well as the meaning behind my name. It also comes as quite a shock to me. The details of what happened were vague, but I was able to accept it, considering those who witnessed it were gone. I'm well aware of what it's like to spend your days in a daze after a traumatic event. My memory lapse surrounding the events that led to becoming a participant in divine selection is a proof of that. For my gran, this took place 16 years ago. It wouldn't be odd for something to trigger her memory, but as far as I'm concerned, there's no need for that to happen. I might have thought differently last month, but I'm not the same person as before. What makes you bring this up now? There's a noticeable pause. She's usually the type to give a quick and concise answer, so it's rare for this to happen. I hear her mulling it over for a moment before finally speaking up again. We then finish the conversation off with some small talk before hanging up. She was acting a bit strange. A person's life is a miracle in and out of itself. I just want you to know that. But I did nothing to answer my question, or the question. She doesn't normally talk like that either. This is the first time I've heard her say such a thing. There was something about it though. It set my heart ablaze. Again with this scene. We're here again. Huh? This is weird. I'm aware of what's going on in my dreams despite it not being Sunday. I've experienced this a number of times before. I'm not in a court of fate either, so it's almost like another side of the dream world entirely. It's not long before I hear a man's voice ring out. Hey there. Been a while, or not. Perhaps I'm best off skipping the formalities. You've settled the score with your fate, but the road ahead will be an arduous one. It's up to you to forge your own path from the limitless possibilities out there. Doing so is nothing miraculous. Think of it as simply riding on the tracks of your life. I must admit that I'm finally finding myself interested in you humans. The willpower that you all possess. How very unique. Another piece of our memories being remembered. Oops, I shouldn't waste your time any longer. You're aware of what my presence in your dreams entails, I assume. It's time to unravel another layer of your memories. I feel my consciousness fade once again. His gritting voice gradually fades into the distance as I fall deeper into the sea of my subconscious. What memory is it this time? Flames envelop me. Flames powerful enough to flake the skin from my bones. My skin is charred, my lungs destroyed by the smoke. My life turns to ash. My inability to even move my fingers tells me as much. I hear someone shouting. They're shouting the same thing over and over, with voices eventually swallowed up by the roaring flames. My consciousness is dissipated by the time their voice fades to completely. Was that on the train or in the deep past? Ah! Another morning where I wake up screaming. This time it's due to a frightful dream. Meow. I notice Lily laying right on top of me as I think things over. It feels like this has happened before. I think that the contents of my dream are my memories of a specific event. Memories of when I lost my life in an explosion on the train. Memories of an event that had been undone. One that represented just a single possibility, up until now anyway. I'm not 100% sure why. Perhaps the world underwent some changes after my recent actions. There's no clear answer for that, for now at least. Those weren't memories of what happened on the train, which may mean they're memories of a much earlier time. It's possible they came back to me after what my gran told me over the phone. Something doesn't quite fit though. I understood what was happening in my dream. There's no way a newborn would be able to form such vivid memories. What in the world was it then? Meow. I ain't asking you, buddy. The only response I get is Leaf's meow. It throws my concentration off a bit, so I end up petting Leaf for a bit before going about my morning routine. Well, just you and me again today. Well, we're going to find out the tale of these two in the next time, folks. So, thank you so much for watching. Naomi is alive, safe and well. That's the good news. The bad news, though, and not relating to Naomi, is that it's probably going to be much tougher eliminating the rest of the participants. Half of them are down. Let's look at our card book. So all 12 participants have revealed themselves. So who was... You must have been the first participant to be eliminated by Alan, because you have no cards, and I am sure that you were the first one to be eliminated based on the assumption that we never met you in the game. So therefore it's entirely possible that Numerial 6 was the first to be eliminated, followed by Numerial 7, then Numerial 8, then Numerial 10, then Numerial 5, then Numerial 4, which means the ones left are Numerial 1, 2, 3, 9, 11, and 12. That's where we get the gist of things here. So, the next elimination is probably most likely going to be Odette. But could it be Alan? Odette or Alan? We know too little about 9. And there's also the possibility that we know quite a bit about Frederico as well. But still, thank you so much for watching, folks. See you all in the next time of Fatal 12. Have a wonderful day. I'll read it now. Mayo and I go to the rooftop during lunchtime. Have a wonderful day. No, not close. Actually, you know what? I'll leave it at that. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourselves.